Good morning. This is World Cup Daily from Stoppage Time News. Everything you missed overnight. Coming up, Chelsea confirm the biggest transfer of the summer, a British record fee for Morgan Rogers. Liverpool's owners are in talks over selling a stake worth more than £1 billion. And Manchester City reshape their midfield in a deal that sends a teammate to Newcastle. It's Wednesday the 22nd of July. Let's get into it. Arthur here, and for the first morning since this tournament kicked off back in June, there's no World Cup action to bring you. Sunday's final in New Jersey was the last kick of the ball, Spain edging Argentina after extra time, and 2 days on, the sport's attention has properly shifted from the pitch to the boardroom. The headline deal is already done. Chelsea have completed the signing of Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa in a club record £117 million move, confirmed by Football.London, The Independent, The Mirror and talkSPORT, making the 23-year-old England international the most expensive British player in history. The move was agreed on Saturday, with Chelsea beating Arsenal to his signature, and Rogers becomes the latest in a growing line of former Manchester City Academy graduates to join the Stamford Bridge ranks. Xavi Alonso is already believed to have settled on where Rogers slots into his attack. And in a nice bit of World Cup symmetry this morning, The Guardian's Owen Bagnall notes that Spain's Rodri has now added the World Cup to the European Championship, the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or, putting him in a very small club of players who've, as the paper puts it, completed football. The story dominating the morning conversation, though, is off the pitch entirely. Liverpool's owners, Fenway Sports Group, have confirmed to the Financial Times that they've opened talks over selling a 30% stake in the club to a consortium led by former QPR co-owner Amit Bhatia, backed by his father-in-law, the steel magnate Lakshmi Mittal. The Guardian, Independent and Standard all report the offer on the table values Liverpool at around £4.5 billion, with the stake itself worth roughly £1.35 billion. It's a minority deal, not a takeover, and FSG have stressed they're not stepping back from day-to-day control, but the scale of the number, and the profile of the people behind it, has set off a frenzy about what fresh investment could mean for Arne Slot's transfer kitty. Separately, The Independent and Sky Sports report that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has been approached about joining that same consortium, though that part remains unconfirmed. Kate, what's moving on the wire? Thanks, Arthur. Quick reminder before we start, everything here is reported, not confirmed, until a club makes it official. Manchester City are reported by The Mirror and The Standard to have reached an agreement in principle for Lille's Ayoub Bouadi, part of a midfield reshuffle that also has Newcastle closing in on a £116 million transfer for City's Elliot Anderson. Newcastle are busy elsewhere too. The BBC reports they are in advanced talks to sign Republic of Ireland forward Leanne Kiernan from Liverpool. Back in the Premier League, the BBC reports Bournemouth have rejected a £64 million bid from Chelsea for midfielder Alex Scott, after he turned down a new contract on the South Coast. And Middlesbrough are reported by the BBC to have agreed a fee that could rise to a club record £20 million for Tottenham striker Will Lancashire. Up in Scotland, Celtic are reportedly closing in on Paderborn's Mika Bauer for around £4 million, while agreeing to sell Daizen Maeda to Ipswich Town, all via BBC Football's gossip column, so treat those fee details as exactly that, gossip, for now. A few more before we move on. Referee Anthony Taylor has announced his retirement from professional football at 47, bringing the curtain down on a 16-year Premier League career and 831 matches in total. His last assignment was this summer's World Cup last 16 tie between Portugal and Spain, one of 5 World Cup games he took charge of, as confirmed by the BBC and The Guardian. At Manchester United, the club's official fans forum and 7 other supporter groups have complained after some season ticket holders had their tickets suspended in a crackdown on touting. Fans tell the BBC and The Guardian they feel, quote, treated as suspects, though United say tickets will be reinstated before the season begins. And if you need a smile this morning, The Guardian has a farewell photo gallery rounding up the stranger sights of World Cup 2026. Think mascots, cake, and yes, a dancing robot. Finally, keep an eye on Chelsea, who've now signed a striking number of former Manchester City Academy graduates. Rogers just the latest through the door. Back to you, Arthur. So what's next? With the World Cup done and the new season creeping closer, expect the transfer market to run hot for the next few weeks. Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham are all reported to be circling Manchester United's Marcus Rashford, and Aston Villa are said to be in talks over Alejandro Garnacho as they look to reinvest their Rodgers money. Clubs up and down the country are easing back into pre-season, with fixtures for the new Premier League campaign already out and ground slowly filling for friendlies. We'll have more on the World Cup's legacy once Sunday's numbers properly land. For now, that's your Wednesday morning sorted. Stoppage time news. Before the final whistle.